Oh my God, I'm on the wrong microphone.
Ah.
Hello and welcome to In the Pocket. My name's Jonny.
And my name's Chris.
Two totally average bass players, and we're here to talk all about that bass. As well as answering your questions at home, each week we take a look at the latest news and maybe breakdowns and tones, all to give you the lowdown below. And Chris, my dear, welcome back to the land of living.
Thank you very much. It's so nice to be back in the cold, dreary, wet UK.
We for those that don't know, Chris has been on his Oddie Bops off to the land of the free. Is there a catchphrase for Florida? It's probably not. PG,
I don't know.
Is it?
There probably is. There probably is, but I don't know. Disneyland, yay! The official catchphrase of Florida. I've absolutely no idea. Is Florida not the Sunshine State, or is that?
Ooh,
is that California?
Could be. I don't associate Florida with sun in terms of.
You
weather.
don't associate Florida with sun.
Well, no. I associate it with like thunder and lightning and like.
Well, I mean that's fair. That's fair. All of our holiday there was a warning that there could be a hurricane in the second week, and then sort of 2 days before it dissipated in like the Caribbean. But on like the Wednesday, like our second to last day, something like that, for like an afternoon, it launched it down.
Wow,
which is quite fun. We were walking. I was walking through Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios, the Star Wars bit, with a big like cagoule thing on. It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
I could just imagine Mickey Mouse being blown. That's a terrible place.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, imagine that, everyone. Wow.
Thank you. Right. Okay. This has nothing to do with bass. How are you? What have you been up to? What have you been doing while I'm away? You had some things come through the door. I saw those.
Yes. I've had some things come through the door. Not Mickey Mouse. No. Just a couple of bass guitars have come in. Got a lovely Epiphone grabber here. Got a 5-string multi-scale after the Andy Baxter video. I was like, yes, I kind of enjoyed that ding wall. Let's do a 5-string multi-scale. And then what else? I think that's it. Oh no, a couple of Yamahas, but they're not on. You're the first to hear about that. Podcast listeners,
incredible.
Not announcing those yet, but that's it. You know, little bits and bobs. Speaking of, the Andy Baxter episode from last week, I want to say thank you so much, everyone, for all your kind words and for tuning into that one. It went down very well. We had a grand old time. Best of times. And there's still so much more content in the bank from that we're going to be putting out. So make sure you go for at In the Pocket Pod on Instagram to see all of that wonderful, wonderful content. And, you will be content with our content,
I'll see what you did there. It was a very good day. That was a really good episode as well. Like I really enjoyed that. That was a very good day. Andy and all the team are lovely. We got to meet a lovely dog called Lucy. Can't complain. And got to play some basses. And lots and lots and lots. We filmed a lot of stuff while we were there, so there's quite a lot left to go. Before we jump in, Jonny, or go any further, are you... this is a bit nerdy, but are you on your microphone? Are you on your laptop audio? Just check that in your settings. I think you're fine. God. It just seems a bit different.
Oh my God, I'm on the wrong microphone. I'm probably like mega quiet now.
I was wondering why you seemed a bit roomy.
Roomy. All right. Well, I can't change it now unless I stop the episode. So,
do you want to stop it? And
let's do that.
We'll just jump back in. There's no point starting again.
Jump back in. I agree.
Sorry, dear listener. You can blame Jonny for that one.
It'd be funny if we leave it in, and that is where I'll start the edit. Sorry about that, everyone. Ha ha ha. This happens. Chris, I didn't really speak to you about your holiday. This is our time to catch up. We don't speak outside of this podcast. Contrary to popular belief, we're not actually friends.
No, there's a contract legally binding us together to speak once every 5 to 10 working days.
Yeah, I know it's not strictly bass related, but I would like to hear a bit more about your holiday.
Well, I won't bore everyone with the finer details of my holiday. It is a bass podcast at the end of the day, but it was very good. It was very nice to have like a proper holiday where I really tried to like not be around the internet as much as I could. Still inevitably like wound up there, every now and again, given the fact that my brain likes to drift. But no, it was really, really nice. I got ill on the first day. I got a good old bit of heat. I got heat exhaustion on the first day. But the first day was way hotter than like the rest of the holiday. It was something crazy like 32 degrees, but it will feel like 37 or something like that. And we were in Epcot in Disney World, which isn't really like, there's not like massive amounts of shade. I still had like hats, sunglasses, sun cream, all that sort of stuff, but just like the heat, like just the actual, it's not really something that I'm used to in the Arctic tundras of the north of England. And it just cleaned me out, and I lost the next 2 days of the holiday. Just stayed in the hotel room for 2 days. But it was fine.
Living it up.
Yeah, Jen was having the best time. She went to Animal Kingdom without me and did, which was fine, more than fine. And she did the Avatar ride like 4 times in a row because the wait times was super low for some reason. That Avatar ride's insane. You're locked on to like a the banshees in the films. The big lizardy bird thing. And you're like locked into that, and it sort of like simulates you riding one of those. And you've got this huge screen in front of you that must be like 10 stories high or something like that. And you're on this thing that moves. It's like a simulation, but it simulates you being like dropped down into these valleys, and like spray of water hits you and different smells and stuff. I think I went on that 4 times in the end over the course of the holiday. But no, it was great. Did the Aerosmith roller coaster, which is quite a big deal for me because I'm actually not a roller coaster guy at all.
Oh,
yeah, not at all. Did that, and then found out on our last day that it's going. It's been retired, and the Muppets are taking over it. Yeah. Because the Muppets are losing their bit of Disney World. That's been turned into...
Muppets have a bit of Disney World.
Yeah, they have a little corner in Hollywood Studios where there's like a restaurant and there's like a 3D show that you can go watch, which is really good. But that's been around for a very long time. So that's going. It's being replaced by like a Monsters, Inc. section with a ride and all that. And then because Aerosmith have retired, the Aerosmith, the rocking roller coaster where you're in the super stretch limo that does like 0 to 60 in something insane like 2 seconds. That thing kicks, and the Muppets are taking over that, so the Muppets will have their own little roller coaster, which is quite cool.
Wow, do you think there'll be a Beaker and Dr. Benson?
I really hope so, because that genuinely is me and you.
Yeah, we say it again, accurately. And one day if we get sponsored by the Muppets, like a movie they have coming out, and they can do an episode.
Oh, yes. Me.
Oh, hi! Today. Right. Shall we...
Chris, what's your favourite drive pedal under £200? The Darkglass B7K. Anyway, let's not... The bit's on the inside. Right, let's not talk about my holiday. Let's talk about bass. I've come here to speak about bass.
You're right. Shut up.
Yeah, shut up, Johnny. Stop asking me if I've had a nice time on holiday. How dare you?
Let's talk about bass, shall we? Right. There have been some super cool bits of news. And this first one, I'm surprised we haven't spoken about because I think it's very cool. So I'm going to share my screen.
For those of you listening to this episode of the podcast, cheers, I guess. But maybe start watching it instead.
Yeah, we're trying to get to
We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we're very close. But a lot of time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears has gone to make this podcast look as average as it possibly can. So, if you are listening, if you are listening, you need to go back and watch the Andy Baxter episode.
Yes, absolutely. And
take it or leave it with this one.
Subscribe, of course. Well, no,
please
I want to see the amazing stuff on screen right now.
Exactly, because we're not going to explain it to you.
No, I am kind of. Tim Commerford,
you are about to.
Of Rage Against the Machine has some new artist series Stingrays. Have you seen these?
I saw it really, really, really briefly, and I didn't look into it. My only thought was, wow, how old is Tim these days?
Yeah, right?
The man's
the long
like
hair going on now.
Yeah, the man's like not aged since the 90s, and then suddenly, like maybe like Tom Morello has like stolen his soul, because Tom Morello's not aged at all.
No.
Maybe he's just been haggard, or maybe it's like any bass player. Really, you got to prop up the rest of the band, and that will take its toll eventually. But anyway. Talk to me about these, because I've got to be honest, first impressions, these look nice.
Oh, wow. Don't they ever? They're so
Look at that green one. Oh, my God.
So, a green is hard to get right as a colour, I think.
And they've got that right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They've nailed it. They've nailed it. What's interesting about this is that we have a passive and an active version of it. So, the blue one is totally passive, which is cool. And then the green one is active. I'm pretty sure the specs are the same as his original one, where we've got this ramp in here, which is really nice, I think, on the Stingray. It looks great. And then, got the mutes on the bridge. These are so seriously
This is cool. This is seriously cool. And you know what? I'm a very strong convert to a passive Stingray now.
Oh, big time.
Really enjoying that Ray 2 that you very nicely sent me.
I would
going to
really
put flats on it as well.
I would really like to get the Oh, that's interesting.
Go on.
There's only 50 of them.
Oh no! Well, that explains why they're like $3,500.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they could charge more. To be honest, they could charge more than that. But that is Xavier Green.
Ooh.
Damn, they're available for pre-order at the moment. I'm just going to check a spec about the Quentin Blue one.
Quentin
Blue. I think that is classy. That is so nice. The matching headstock, all the black hardware. I think I like the Quentin Blue the best.
It's really close. I really, really do like the green. I don't know, but that is a brilliant blue. It's almost like a grayer Pelham blue.
Yes, no, it is
to me.
And
it's like really a Pelham blue, but a bit more faded, and that's really, really nice. Like really nice.
And what I was trying to look up is if this is a short scale, because I thought I remembered seeing
didn't he do a short scale in his original, because his original batch that came out in like 2020 2021, there was a couple that came out, and I swear one was a short scale.
Yeah, I think you're right. Do you know what, looking at this, it doesn't look like a short scale. Maybe I've misremembered that, but passive is a very cool option to have.
Passive is cool, very cool.
And I actually really want to try the passive short scale Sterling Stingray now. I'll talk about that a bit later.
Okay.
But yeah, first off the bat, that is a pretty good bit of news.
It's a good one to start off with. That's two big thumbs up for the green and the blue for me. Passive and active, very nice. It's free band EQ, right?
Yes, that's right.
Very nice.
The triple band.
The correct number of bands, in my opinion, for Stingray. I'm telling you, everyone says this, you'll never touch the mid-range. I am all over the mid-range, all over it. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Touching it all day.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Nothing mid about that mid-range, I'll tell you that for sure.
Ayo. Right. Let us move on from one artist to another artist, shall we?
Yes.
And this one, I hadn't heard of the company before, but Mr. Number 3 in Sleep Token has this signature, what are they called? Astrides instruments. That's it.
Yeah, you never heard of these
Astrides.
before?
I hadn't heard of them before. No, I think I've
Really?
seen them
Okay.
before, but I didn't recognise the name. Honestly, I know he had a white one before this, but now we've got a full branded up. Look at that backplay, man.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
No, I was pretty familiar with this brand. I first heard of them when Mike Stringer from Spirit Box, the guitarist in Spirit Box, had a custom model. I don't know whether it was a signature model. I think it was just he had a custom one made, I think. Please don't quote me on that. And all of the guitars and basses are kind of this kind of shape, like double cutaway, quite rounded designs. But yeah, Mr. Number 3 on his second signature model in the last like 20 minutes.
Right? Yeah, having a Charvel before. And now this, which is incredible looking.
Well, this will cost a lot more than anything Charvel will kick out. These aren't cheap guitars, if I remember correctly.
No, and I don't actually know if you can buy this from them direct.
I don't know either, because I believe they're quite a small.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all custom stuff. So I'm sure you could.
Yeah, they're kind of like they're a bit like Alpha guitars, kind of. I don't know how they scale in terms of size and stuff, but they're not it's not a mass manufacturing organization. No,
but yeah, it's quite an extreme finish on here. I not gonna lie, I don't love it. I like, spec wise, brilliant. Like it's like a multi-scale with the Fishmans, and yeah, great. The body shape for me, I feel like they look a bit wide. I don't know why, even though a Gibson bass is very wide, but
yeah, it does look quite like bulbous, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like it's quite. Although I will say, I'm not a fan of signature instruments that have like the band logo all over them.
Yeah,
to me, that's like smelly early 2000s Schecter vibes.
Well, that's what this is giving me. Not going to lie.
Well, a little bit, but I will say the worst part for me, the back of the neck. What is that? Like, why have you wrought something on the back of the neck?
That is purely for stage, like to hold it up. Because do you remember when they all changed their bios to be this or something?
No.
Yeah,
I don't
remember. They blanked everything out
Yeah.
and just put that as the thing. So I don't know what this means.
Oh yeah, because everyone thought that the band had sort of like ended, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because someone docked the bass player.
Yeah,
Was the bass player that got docked. Someone leaked his birth certificate, which, regardless of like secret identity or not, don't do that. Don't do that. That's someone's
horrific.
birth certificate. That's quite an important legal document that should not be publicly disclosed. But yeah, I mean, funnily enough, it's funny you should say this. I've been
because here's my birth
I've been
certificate.
looking because here's my birth certificate. I was actually looking back at some of our older episodes, mainly to sort of see like how our camera stuff has changed over the last sort of 12 months. And in short, wow, it looked quite bad at first. But anyway, we did our best, and we continue to do our best. It's just our best is a little bit better than it was 12 months ago. But I clicked on our Christmas episode from last year, and because I'd already watched a bit of it, it just dropped me in where I'd left off. Thanks, YouTube. And we were talking about the Charvel signature model that Mr. Number 3 had.
So it's about a year ago then.
Yeah, about a year ago we were talking about that, and I asked you if you liked Sleep Token. You said yes. I said no, and said I don't get the hype. I don't like it. I don't think they're very good. And I think I specifically said I would rather listen to Deftones. That's actually what I said. I'm going watching Sleep Token tomorrow, and now I'm actually a pretty big fan of the band. I don't love them as much as like lots of other people do, but I've sort of like grown to appreciate the technical ability of the music quite a lot. They scratched that itch for me, like when I first got into Periphery and Animals as Leaders. And now I don't really listen to those bands anymore. They've kind of just continued on, and I've just not stuck with them. Not because I don't like what they've brought out. I've just kind of left them behind a little bit. Whereas this band have like scratched that itch for me a little bit, and like
definitely,
I'm not listening to Tool as much at the moment. So this band is like scratching that sort of like progressive riffage. But should be good. And I like this. I don't like the inlay because, like I said, I don't like signature models that scream it's a signature model. Like, I'm not really. I think that damages the sales potential of the instrument long term.
But then these ones aren't, like we said. I'm not sure if they're up for grabs at all.
No, I don't think they are. I think this is just kind of like a showcase at the end of the day.
For sure. This is the white one that he's got.
Yes.
Look at that back plate.
Is that a see-through back plate?
I like that. That's cool.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
They should do that, but then put a sticker on where it's like, if you can see this, you voided your warranty. That's what the PlayStation 4 has apparently on the inside.
Yeah. Oh God. You're like, no.
And that says if you can see this, you voided your warranty. Thoughts on the headstock?
That should be in prison for crimes.
I was gonna say I quite like it.
If you got rid of the bottom part, it looks a bit like a Sire headstock, just a two-string Sire.
Yeah, brilliant. It's fine. I think it suits the aesthetic of the bass overall.
See, I think the body looks too big, then the headstock looks too small.
The body does look massive, which is weird because, you know what, that actually is quite big. Because then again, how small is this man? Is that an 8-year-old child?
I think it might be. They've tattooed him.
They've tattooed an 8-year-old child and forced him to grow a beard. At gunpoint, probably. Anyway.
We were speaking about Charvel a minute ago. We kind of didn't really mention this, that Charvel have been teasing. I'm just going to head over to Instagram now.
And I'm very interested in this.
Yeah, this is the Charvel NG2. It's a multi-scale,
the
Dingwall
JG2,
like jazz bass hybrid that Josh from Spirit Box has been wielding recently. It seems to be a one-off custom for him. He was always a Dingwall man before, but now he seems to be playing this.
He's been playing like a signature. Is it a signature Z3 or something like that, or
I think so.
I can't remember. I've seen it, and it's all matte black, and I thought it was really cool.
This
and the EQ pots are on the back.
Yes, this one.
That's the one.
Oh,
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, very cool indeed. But now he's got this Charvel, which like it's very smart of Charvel to be like, right, we know our market. We're going to go for like two of the biggest heavy bands right now. So yeah, big smart decisions all round. From them. So I don't know why they're sleeping on this. Like, where is it? I think they're doing a Mike Dirnt G3 on us right now. Give it to us.
That seems to be the modern branding. Just gaslight your audience, insist it doesn't exist, and then go, oh yeah, it's out now. Yeah. But no, I dig this. I think it looks really good. I haven't played a lot of Charvels, and unfortunately, the one we played at the Fender showroom, neither of us particularly enjoyed the sound of.
I've played that bass twice, and both times I've come away going, I just don't like it. Like the sound, I just do not like. It
felt amazing though.
Oh,
like the neck, the weight, the balance, all the controls feel amazing. The neck feels great, fretboard, all that sort of stuff. Plays really nice. But then we plugged it in, and it just. Do you think it might be broken? Because it sounds really bad.
Yeah, sounded terrible.
Just
did not like it. But you know. That's that.
Yeah, so hopefully this does sound good. I like to think it will.
But
and in fact, Mike Stringer is holding, I think that's that signature guitar. I just told you about.
Yes, so it is. So it is.
Yes, there it is.
That level headstock. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Let's move on to the next thing, and that is Aguilar have released some new stuff. They've just done an updated version of their tone hammer pedal and the new Amp Plug 3 tone hammer. So this is essentially a tone hammer in your pocket that you can plug into your bass and have a mini amp, a bit like the old Vox One amp plug thing that they had before, whereas this is the tone hammer in your pocket. So this is cool, and from demos online, it sounds great. No complaints here. You've got all different effects built in as well. It's not quite as in depth as, say, the Fender Mustang one, but this is just the tone hammer.
No, that's a very comprehensive pedal.
So
that Mustang Micro
pretty cool.
2.
Not too
Pretty
much
cool
to say
indeed.
about this one, to be honest. I have got one, but I'll be honest, I haven't unboxed it yet because I've been a very busy boy. So sorry about that, but it will be coming soon, I swear. What do you think?
Seems fine. Usable, practical, very good. I didn't think so. When Fender sent me that the Mustang Micro 2, I thought, oh, this is cool. I'll probably not really use this. Like, I've got stuff at home I can practice with. I practice with that all the time. Genuinely, all the time.
I can really see myself using something like this a lot. Especially as I didn't have my HX Stomp for a couple of weeks. And I was like, ooh, I just want to plug something in and play. What do I do? So I actually got the Vox down and started using it for a little bit. But now I will use this, definitely. So,
but this looks good.
Potentially a good one for stocking fillers, although I think it's a bit expensive for a stocking filler, but a good present for bass players. Absolutely.
Yeah, very practical for people who are sort of like out and about, playing a lot. I can see a use in this where it's like when I've set up for a gig and I've got a bit of time and there might be something in the set I need to look at, or I might be playing a wedding and the singer tells me, oh, we're actually doing this in this key and I need to quickly refigure that out, or a request has come in for the second set and it's like, oh right, okay, I've got 20 minutes to have a quick look at this, that kind of thing. Practicing at home. I'm a big fan of anything that kind of like breaks down hurdles in terms of like getting the instrument in your hand and getting you playing. That's why I like the bass ukulele so much, because I can just go, I just want to quickly figure something out, or I'll hear something, like I'll be listening to a song at home and I'll go, I want to learn that. And there's no, okay, get the bass out, get the pedal board out, plug the amp in, connect to my monitors, plug my headphones in, all these kind of things. I just grab the ukulele, quickly tune it, and I'm ready to go while I'm inspired and motivated. And I think this is one of those things that will help that as well. So,
and it's really
anything
nice
that
to
does
have
that,
a specific bass. It's really nice to have a specific bass related one, for something like that.
Yeah, because there's very few things like this that just do bass. Like even, that Fender Mustang doesn't technically have a bass thing. What I use is it's got a tube DI as one of the amp options, and I just go straight into that, put one of the compressors in front of it inside the amp, and then turn the treble off. And I'm like, that's a pretty nice DI tone, but it's not a bass amp.
But it's not something a nice tone.
And it's not. No, it's quite nice actually. But something like Aguilar bringing out like a dedicated thing like this, 2 thumbs up for me. Yeah. Big fan.
Big fan. Very nice. Let's move on to our I nearly said final bit of news, but I've just remembered there's another bit of news, which is exciting.
So much news.
I know. Boss, the big Boss, have released. I've bloody shared the wrong tab, and I mate. Here we go. They have brought out the GX10 guitar effects processor, which has got bass stuff on it as well. This is they brought out the GX100, I think, in 2022, and now they've just brought out essentially like their HX Stomp, I would call it. Oh, look at that bass player go!
Look at him go! Wow!
Look at him go! This is an effects processor that can be used on guitar and bass. All your stuff built in. Nothing new in terms of like what it is and what it does. This is just Boss's kind of version of that. It comes with an expression pedal built in, which the HX Stomp does not. But it is a bit bigger on your pedal board.
Quite a bit bigger.
Yeah,
I'd say.
I mean, this is the kind of thing you would just have. You wouldn't have a pedal board. The HX Stomp goes well with other things, whereas I feel like you would just have this right by itself. But yeah, it's pretty cool. In terms of bass amps, I think we've got like, I want to say we've got like 12 different bass amps, which is quite a lot.
12. You know what? 12 is quite a lot, because you know what doesn't have 12 bass amps, and it's probably quite a lot more money. Yeah, that.
Oh dear.
I think that's got like 6 or 7. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, no, this is good. I'd like to know what the 12 are. I mean, obviously it's going to be your obvious things, like there'll be like an SVT style one, a Galleon Kruger style one. You got a list? You got a list of these here?
I will try and find a list. I don't actually have one.
No, it might not be.
Perhaps there is a manual I can download and read it for you.
Yeah, it might be lurking in there somewhere. But I mean, it's going to be the sort of usual suspects, isn't it? SVT, Bassman, GK, maybe like a Boogie.
There'll be like a flip top B15.
Yeah, there'll be like a flip top style thing. There might be something that's like a Tube DI or like a Sans amp kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to reinvent the wheel, and frankly, it doesn't have to. Like, we don't need it to reinvent the wheel. It just needs to do that well.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just double checking the price. It's 350 quid. That's quite good.
That's quite cheap. That's quite affordable. Quite affordable.
Do you know what? That is an amazing price, because I've just reviewed.
That's cheaper than a HX Stomp, isn't it?
That's like almost half the price.
Wow.
Because Boss, obviously are great. Like, I would have faith that this is going to sound good. I've not heard it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to sound good. Just
you would think, of course, given the magnitude of the brand.
Yeah, because I've just reviewed the Sonic Ache, their like version of this, and that is like okay at best. Like, it's not great.
Okay.
And so for this to be, and it's very similar size, similar thing, and so for this to be this price, that's really good. Fill the air, Chris. I'm just going to try and find if I can tell you. Oh, amp list. There we go.
Oh, that was good, because I just, in my brain, immediately went, oh, God, what am I going to talk about?
Jeez.
Here we go.
Right, here we go.
Oh, you're on Reddit. Be careful now.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Okay.
There's a list. B7K Dark Glass.
Okay. So this is of the GX100s. I think this is an old list, because I think there is more now, but they definitely have Aguilar, Mark Bass, TC Electronic. They do have a Dark Glass amp in there as one of the Sims. I remember seeing that.
Cool. Okay.
And multiple amp pegs. So
yeah.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty diverse list, so we like that. Nice. Right.
Very
Shall
nice
I
indeed. And
move on to the next bit of news?
Yes, you should. Very nice indeed, and I think that is a very good price as well for what you're getting. Very good, boss. Very good.
Very good. Nice. I thought you were calling me boss then, and I really liked it. I was like,
boss man. Let's go.
Boss boy. Nice. The last bit of news that we have got, finally, the Fender, what's it called? What's it called? This is journalism. There it is, the Tone Master Pro, of course, have just updated it with, drum roll, Chris, can I get an actual drum roll? Nice, thank you.
Thank you.
They have updated it with stuff for bass players. Woohoo! We've now got amps in here for bass players. Look at us go.
Incredible.
Yes.
Always the last to get anything.
Yeah, it's not a lot. It's not much, but it's something. So thank you, Fender, finally. They've just launched an update which has more stuff on it. Line 6 also did an update recently. I'd like to see Fender really up their game with the updates and add more and more and more stuff as they go along, because that would be great. Because I think pretty sure we've only got the Bassman amp in there at the minute, which is the only one that they do, but like, let's get everything else in there,
that's the tricky one, because isn't the Fender, doesn't this only have stuff that Fender make anyway?
I don't think so, because they're
right,
in here.
Because there's a Tube Screamer for
exactly,
a start,
and that's a flanger from Boss for sure.
Yeah, that's a Boss-looking flange. But then again, the effects are a little bit different, aren't they? But the amps, though, like when I tried one at the showroom, I was only looking at guitar amps, and they had like a 5150, which is obviously owned by PV, and PV are owned by Fender, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Or have they split now? No, yeah, PV do. Well, the 5150 has the Fender logo hidden on the back of it, so I know they own that to an extent. And then there was like a Fender Deluxe, stand guitar amp. So maybe there's a licensing thing where they can only really have the Bassman. I'm not too sure.
Could be. It is good that they've added it in.
But yeah,
who knows what else we're going to get on top of that? Not sure. It's a bit confusing that they called it the Tone Master Pro, really, because they've got an amp called the Tone Master.
Do they?
Yeah. So I'm trying to Google this. There we go. So I've got to lean over. Yeah, they've only added that, which is still good. You've got like a new compressor and a tube preamp in there and things like that. So I would like to hear it because I've not heard any of the demos of this on bass. And I actually think that this is the best looking modeler. Or like
I do agree. It's very big. I've seen one in person. They are chunky.
Like, look at that. It's a chunk, but
yeah, it's a big boy. But it's a good looking piece of kit. The design is really nice. Got to hand that to Fender because there's a lot of modelers out there that are pretty ugly. And
that, like the Boss one, we didn't say it. The Boss one is ugly, I think.
Yeah, that's sort of generic. Couple of foot switches, expression pedal. It's a bit. They tend not to look that nice, I don't think.
But this looks so clean. The names on top, really nice. The big knobs, of course, very nice. And the screen with the pictures of the amp and pedals on it and stuff is just so perfect. And you can label the buttons exactly,
and you can see the specific text. Like you can't do that on something like the Quad Cortex, for example. Like the buttons are just the buttons. And then there's a screen on the top.
They look nice to push, don't they?
Yeah, they look satisfying. I would like to put my heel on it. Absolutely. Very nice. The
Fender Tone Master is like, yeah, step on me.
Yeah, step on me.
Amazing. Well,
and it's not cheap. Obviously, £1,300 is a pretty sizable chunk of change.
Yeah,
but that puts it in the same price bracket as I think the Quad Cortex is the same amount of money now.
Yeah.
So there is more. There is a lot more on the Quad Cortex though, and you can capture things and all that sort of
they're
stuff,
different beasts, really.
This is like a big multi effects unit, really. But no, pretty cool.
Love it. I would like to try one for bass one day, but we'll see.
I would like to try one too.
Lovely. Shall we move on?
Let's.
This is technically, I suppose, another news segment because it's actually an announcement from us. OMG. We on time of recording, we are on the precipice of announcing this, but when this goes out, it would have been announced, so we cannot not talk about it. And that is that. Chris, can I have another drum roll, please?
Yeah, of course. Hang on. What time signature would you like your drum roll in?
Could I have it in 3/4 at 180 BPM?
This is the best I can do.
I'm sure that sounds right to me.
You can count that in 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Look at that. 3, 4.
Nice.
Close
perfect.
enough. Yeah, close enough.
Chris, it's finally here.
Johnny, it's finally here.
In the Pocket Patreon. We have done it. I'm super happy to finally say those words. It's been a long time coming. I was about to say you've been asking for it, but you definitely haven't. But
I've been asking for it.
Yeah. So obviously we've been doing this podcast for a number of years now. And we want to be able to have a chance for you guys to gain even more from it moving forward. So we are going to be... we've announced all the different tiers that we can do with our Patreon now. So if you want to give us a little a small chunk of change, not like the Fender Toemaster Pro level. But
No,
just like a couple of, plectrums worth every month. That would be very, very nice. You can head over to, I will get the URL for you right now. You can find it in all of our bios, etc., and in the description of this video or podcast. But it is patreon.com/In the Pocket podcast. That is patreon.com/In the Pocket podcast. Feels good to say, doesn't it?
It does feel very nice. We've been talking about this for a really long time, and we've never done an ad on the podcast. We might not ever do an ad on the podcast, to be honest. We'll see what happens with that, because nobody likes us. But we've never done an ad. We're doing more with the podcast. Like, you will have realised, like, one of our first episodes was, or video episodes, me and you went all the way down to Ashdown, which is about 5 hours of driving each way for both of us. We've done the guitar show in Birmingham. You came up to me, and then went to Andy Baxter's in Leeds. I came down to you, went down to London. We've Fender, to go to the Fender showroom. We've invested into the podcast. Like I've got a new camera for this. We're always thinking about lighting and making this like the best we possibly can. And unfortunately, I wish we could have it all for free, but that all costs money. So we wanted to make something as a way to sort of say, if you like what you see and you want to continue seeing what you've been getting up until this point, and as we continue to grow, like, we've got a lot of really good plans for 2025 that we haven't announced yet. But also, it's not just a case of it's not just a case of we just want people's money. Like, we're going to give you things in exchange for that as like a thank you, because we understand that, I'm not flush with cash. I'm not going to act like I'm flush with cash, because I'm definitely not. So, especially like the world we live in at the moment. So anything really goes a long way. You'll see there's different tiers ranging from quite a small amount of money each month through to, a little bit of money, but we're not asking for like £50 a month, no. For absolutely nothing. Also, I'd like to clarify, I wanted to do an OnlyFans, but Jonny said no. So there we are. There we go.
Well, I don't like sharing, and I need you all to myself.
Also, no one wants to see that.
No. If we were to do that, how would we do it? Would it just be us like doing phone sex?
Oh, you want to go into this? Okay.
No, it was a rhetorical question.
I'm so glad you asked, because I have a spreadsheet here. Where is it?
An Excel spread cheeks.
Yeah, Excel spread cheeks. But yeah, let's tell people what the tiers are, so they know. I don't want people having to trundle all the way over to Patreon to find out. So
different kind of tiers. Here we go.
Yeah.
So tier 1 for $1 per month. Okay, so this is change you wouldn't even notice flying out your wallet, probably, like if you lost it, but you could give it us. And this essentially is just like a monthly tip jar. It's like, hey, I like what you do. Have £1 or $1 every month. So technically, what's included is that warm fuzzy feeling inside that you get from supporting independent creators that you enjoy. It's just your chance to say a little thank you every month for doing this. And we really appreciate any financial contribution that anybody makes to this podcast. So yes, tier 2 is a little bit more. That is $4 or £4 a month. For this one, this is the first tier that you get like something exclusive to Patreon, and that is exclusive content with every episode. So for each episode, starting from our next episode, we will be recording an extra roughly 30-minute segment each time that is, at least that is going to be exclusive to Patreon people. the Patreon peeps will get that. It can be a Q&A. It could be us talking about something not bass related. It could be something specific that you guys suggest and want us to talk about. This is going to be a chance for you guys to have a bit more input as well on what that segment looks like, and it will change based on what people want, etc. And when we have a guest on, we will ask you for your questions, and we will ask the guest, if they're appropriate, of course. We'll try and ask all of those questions to the guest. So the main episode will be kind of curated by us, and then the bonus one will be where you guys can ask them questions. So if there's a particularly cool guest that you want to say something to or ask them, then Patreon people of this tier will be able to do just that, which I think is pretty exciting. Now, tier number 3. This is $9 or £9 per month, and this one gets you, I'd say, like quite a bit more. And I'll tell you about it right now. As
Me
well
and Johnny
as
will move into your house.
Yes, and play bass non-stop.
Non-stop.
No. Sleep? Good luck. For this one, as well as get that, warm, fuzzy feeling inside and the exclusive content, you also get a shout out every episode. So we'll go through and read out your name on the pod. And also, you'll be entered into monthly gear giveaways that we are going to be doing just for Patreon, just for patrons. That's it, not Patreoners.
Patrons. Can we call them Patreoners? Just for Patreoners.
Let me do the Patreoner now of speaking to our Patreoners. Patrons of this tier will be entered into monthly gear giveaways, and this isn't like cables and strings. This is going to be, pedals, basses, really, really good stuff. Every single month, those people on that tier will be entered into that, which I think is very exciting. There will be an announcement very soon about what the first giveaway is going to be. But before we talk about that, I want to talk about the other announcement that we have made at the same time as this. And that is that our next guest, so our next episode, is going to be with Scott Devine, the man himself from SBL, famous from podcast, from ScottsBassLessons.com. Yes, you asked, we've delivered. Scott Devine is coming on, and what a lovely chap he has been so far, speaking back and forth. And yeah, we cannot wait to bring this episode to you. So if there are any questions that you want to ask Scott Devine, or things you've always wanted to know about SBL, or about his life before SBL and things like that, definitely pop them on the community post on Patreon, where we will be able to see those questions and use them for that bonus segment. This is a prime example of the benefits that from tier 2 upwards will get you. So yeah, I'd like to apologize in advance, because we are going to be banging on about this for every single episode.
Yeah, but, look, let's be honest. It was either this or we go to selling ball trimmers, mattresses, supplements, what else? Therapy sessions.
Yeah, online therapy.
Online therapy. Yeah, I could do with some of that. It was either that or this, and I think this is like a genuine way people can choose to support us if they want to. Like, if you don't want to subscribe to this and you don't want the extra content, that's perfectly fine. Like, if you want to just give us £1 a month because you like what you've heard and you want to help us out a little bit, that's amazing. If you don't have the money for any of this, that's fine too. Nothing is going to change. Like, these episodes aren't going to suddenly go down to 1 free episode a month, or they're going to drop down to 20 minutes and then there'll be a 2-hour Patreon episode. Not what you get right now for free is not changing. We're just
100%.
We're just trying to work out ways we can grow this, get a tighter community as well. Because also with things like social media, sometimes you put a post out and just like not everyone sees it. Like we've done collab posts between Johnny's account, my account, and then the podcast account, which comes to like 20,000 for you, 6,000 for me, and 27,000 followers, and the insights don't match up. in terms of the size of that. So having something like a Patreon that isn't like, we're not slave to an algorithm, means we can post stuff and be like, this is this, and then everyone will see this. Like, you won't miss out on anything. Yeah. And as we've said for a very long time, the bigger the podcast gets, the bigger the guests.
And the bigger our egos.
And absolutely. And I'd like a new car. Anyway.
And the fourth tier is finance Chris's new car.
Oh, can we? Like, is that legal? Can we
just set it up as like a, how much do you want to spend?
It just goes straight to Jaguar Land Rover.
Yeah. 90 grand.
£90,000 a month. No, but in all seriousness as well, like, having Scott on is great. Like, Scott was on my shortlist for dream guests. So to have, like, I know we've been doing the podcast longer than a year, but I kind of treat it as, since we started doing the video is when the podcast like really started. It's where we saw the most. I think we saw a massive increase in traction and listenership once we started bringing video into it. So, since to have that within like just over a year, really is just like amazing. And we couldn't have that without people like you who listen to this, who watch it, who share the episodes, follow us online. So you did all that for free. So thank you very much. And in the future, if you choose to take a little bit of money, of your hard-earned money, out of your back pocket and decide you want to give it to two totally average bass players, that would mean the world. So thank you.
Exactly. The way. Thank you so much, and well put, Chris. The way to think about some of these tiers, and I'm sure you've heard people say this before, but like the lower tiers, like money you might not notice, leave your account, and then the next tier is like a coffee a month, or a beer a month, is that kind of value stuff that if you think, actually, I think I could put that money towards supporting content that I actively consume and enjoy, then I think it's kind of, well spent. And like we said, nothing will be going behind a paywall that you're currently getting. So no worries there. Right. Chris, should we move on to the main subject of today?
We should. Let's do just that.
Fantastico. So I thought we could talk about gas. And I'm not talking about the gas from your arse. I'm talking about gear acquirement syndrome. For years I didn't know what that meant. Gas. I was just like, oh yeah, I've got gas. And I was like,
it's got indigestion.
Yeah. I was like, a lot of bass players, I've got gas. So this is essentially like, what is on my wish list right now? What am I really craving in terms of a purchase when it comes to gear? So we're going to go through and we might do this a couple of times a year, maybe like, what are we really gassing for right now? What's really piqued our interest? I've certainly got a few things that I'd like to talk about. Shall I go first?
I think so, because I think you've got a lot more that you're after. There's a lot more gas in you than there is for me. I've never been... Genuinely, I've never been that guy. Like, in terms of, like, gear acquisition. Like, I just haven't really been able to ever... I've not sat and gone, I want to buy this, I can afford this. It's always been... Well, I can only get this one thing. I need to try and make sure it's the right thing and then only buy that. So I don't have too much I'm really after. I've got a few things, but I'll let you go first because I think you've probably got a lot more than me.
And I get a lot of gear in and out, etc., but that doesn't necessarily mean that I could just afford to go and buy all of these things.
No,
it's just things that are on my radar right now that I'm like, I'm really interested in one of those right now. I will start off with the one that I kind of mentioned earlier, and that is the Sterling by Music Man short scale Stingray. I've been really enjoying it recently. I think it's since having the Ray 2, which is passive, and the release of the Joe Dart, which I have massive FOMO over right now. I really want the short scale Stingray. I think it's a shorty, obviously, which is cool. It's passive, which is really nice, and it is wired in, or it can be wired in parallel. One of the knobs is a notch that goes between parallel series and then single coil. So I think that's a great combination for a passive Stingray. So, and especially one that doesn't cost £1 million. So, yeah, I really want one of those right now. I think it's very, very cool. I would like the red one, and I would like to put a taut pickguard on it, please. That's what I would like.
That's very specific.
Yes, I've written it to Father Christmas already. It's late November, so I'm sure he'll get it in time.
Just getting in early, in case there's any postal strikes. All sorted.
Exactly.
Yay. Lovely stuff. For me, what do I want? A higher sense of purpose. Feel like I'm not a constant failure. Anyway, sorry, we're talking about bass, aren't we? For basses, I think there's not a lot. I would genuinely really like a short scale. I really want a short scale now. I've spoken about this on the podcast a few times now. I don't necessarily know bang on what I want, but I know I want a short scale. Like, part of me really wants something like a JMJ or something like that, or even something quite a lot cheaper like a Squier Bronco. I just want that specific short scale with a pick kind of sound. Whether it's rounds or flats, not entirely certain yet, but flats on short scale is a mega vibe. Absolutely. I want that sound, things like, This Is Why by Paramore, and there's quite a lot of stuff on the Olivia Rodrigo albums, or even Sabrina Carpenter stuff, which is definitely like a short scale for pick. And I'm just really keen to get into that sound quite a lot more. So for me, short scale, please. I am gassing for a short scale.
Let's
please,
go.
Thank you.
Nice. Amazing. Yeah, there's such a vibe. And yeah, I hope my 2025 is full of shorties.
Well, I am only 5'10", so there we go.
Oh, there we go. It's going to be full up. Isn't shorty? Yeah, that shorty is the word for my shorty,
Oh, yeah, SHAWTI.
Yeah, that's it. My 25 is going to be full of shorties.
I'm really sorry, Johnny, but sipping that mug, you are far too middle class to say that. I'm sorry.
Extremely eligible.
Yes, lovely, very nice. Do you have another thing? I've got two more, I'd say.
Okay,
but they're both basses.
I can keep going and going and going.
Well, I know you can, and I'm also trying to think if there's any pedals or anything that I'm super after. I can think of some things, but okay, right, your move.
For me, I really want a California Sandberg.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah. You talk about that quite a lot now.
Yeah, I've had Electras over the years, and I had. I've got an Electra in right now, which is cool, but the Californias are so good, and playing that one at Andy Baxter was great. It's so amazing. And I used to not be a fan of the humbucking ones, because I was like, oh, they're not really Stingray-esque, and that's what I want from a humbucker. But
yeah,
they do have their own flavour, and I am really enjoying that now. My taste has kind of changed a little bit. And so I want a TM, I think it is, which is the 4-string with a single coil in the neck. It's like a jazz bass, but with a humbucker in the bridge, and you can split it, so you can just have a jazz bass, or you can have the humbucker as well. They play absolutely phenomenally well. So yeah, I would but they're so expensive, at least $2,000. So that's a no. But yeah, if a good second-hand one came up that I was particularly interested in, I would potentially purchase that. So yeah.
Not bad at all. It's funny you should say jazz kind of basses, because after going to Andy Baxter's and trying out some jazz basses that were a little bit out of my budget, I sort of sat and thought I really miss having a jazz bass. I actually really I miss the shape. I miss the sort of like the hand placement of having the two pickups and sitting where they are. I miss that scoop sound a little bit. Like I really enjoy doing pretty much everything with a P bass at the moment. Like I am genuinely really enjoying that, but I'm starting to miss that tonal option that you get from a jazz bass. And I know I've got my go down, which is a PJ, but they're a little bit different. You know, they're in the same sort of postcode, but it's not quite the same. So I'd really like a jazz bass again, to be honest. Don't know. It doesn't have to necessarily be something crazy expensive or anything, but like, yeah, I think I miss my jazz bass, and I think I would like another one. So that can be potentially something for next year.
Solid. Yeah, nice. Short scale jazz bass. Done.
Maybe not both together. I think I'd like a shorter scale, like with flats. With flats, I think. And then a jazz bass, like probably with rounds for that proper traditional jazz bass feel and sound.
I'm really into jazz basses right now. Very much enjoying them. I go on and off them so much, but yeah, liking it right now. So that's cool.
But playing that very expensive 1960 jazz bass with flats on it, that was insane. Like that was just so, the sound was just sort of just kind of perfect, really, I found.
Yeah.
It's made me want to put flats back on something. Absolutely.
Back on everything.
Yeah, but all my basses, everything's flats now. There is nothing, no treble response. No, thank you.
I'm going to do a video in the new year because I've got a set of half rounds here. I've never tried half rounds, and I bought them ages ago, going like, "Oh, this will be a bit of fun." And if I maybe a short scale because I like old rounds on a short scale as well. Like, they sound great, and I'm like, well, maybe half rounds might be like cool middle ground. So I'm going to do a comparison of rounds, flats, and half rounds. I think and it be centered around the half rounds to be like, what's the deal with these?
That's a good idea. I'm really strongly considering. Oh, excuse me. That yawn came out of nowhere. Wow. Sorry about that. I'm really boring. I'm really strongly considering like never changing the strings on my P bass. Like at the moment, they're like fairly. Still keep them clean, so it's not like they'll get dirty. Still wipe them down after. Like not change them, but we'll see really. But I'm excited to give that one a go.
Nice, how exciting! For me,
your move. Have you got another thing? Yeah,
I do have another thing. Ibanez ATK.
Oh wow! Hello.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, so. I don't think they're in production right now, but obviously
no, I think they're I think they've been discontinued for quite a long time now.
Yeah. And I just weirdly had loads of people reaching out to me recently saying, "Have you tried an Ibanez ATK? Oh, by the way, I want your thoughts on Ibanez ATK." And I was like, "Where's all this come from?" I'm not joking. Like 5 messages of saying the same thing, and I was like, "Huh?" And I've never tried one before, and so then I've just been kind of like going down that rabbit hole, looking them up and wanting to see, test out that, famed Stingray killer.
Because it's their version, basically, of a Stingray, isn't it? Like, I've not seen too many people. Whenever I think of the ATK, I think of the original bass player from Motionless in White. He had an ATK that I thought was really cool because it had this big, like, chrome pick guard that almost just looked like a giant ashtray. And the pickup was huge on the bass as well. Like, it looked like it would absolutely rip. So yeah, not something I've ever tried either. So I share your curiosity. Absolutely, there.
Exciting.
I've got one more.
Go for it. I will do one more, and it's not actually kind of not bass related, but I'd like to talk about it.
I was trying to think about pedals and bass amps and stuff like that, and I can't really think of anything bass amp related. I do genuinely just really like my RM500, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I would kind of like the 800, the bigger, louder one, because I found when I'm doing gigs on bigger stages, it can't quite keep up. I'm having to really push it, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world. And then for pedals, I couldn't really think of much. Like, I kind of want to like go back to being able to mess around with something like a Dark Glass X7, like the old school version, like the original version with just the compression and the multiband distortion. That'll be cool. And then a quick honorable mention would be like quite like a Cali 76, you know, like I kind of just really want one. I'd like to build a pedal board that isn't a modeler. Like, it's just a, you know, something like the Origin SVT pedal that I've got, something like that, a compressor, like a drive, and like an actual octave pedal, you know, and that's like like a little pedal board. But that's more just for fun, really.
Yeah.
Because everything I actually need, I can just do like in a modeling unit like the Quad Cortex. However, basses doesn't technically exist yet, I know, but you know what I'm going to say. I am genuinely gassing for this mysterious Mike Dirnt G3. Like, I genuinely really want one of those basses. And whenever it comes out, maybe it'll get announced at Winter NAMM. Maybe that'll be the time it gets released. Who knows? But yeah, genuinely super interested in owning like a G3 style configuration of an instrument. Like, it doesn't have to be a fancy one. The Mike Dirnt one looks good because I really like the colour as well. Yeah, I'm all up for that bass. Like that, even if I didn't buy a jazz bass and just bought that, I'd still be happy with that. So yeah.
Well, you could technically make that like a jazz bass type sound.
Yeah, exactly.
As well.
Just turn the middle pickup off.
Yeah.
But yeah, G3, please, and thank you.
That's always on the gas list. Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned amps as well. I always want like a Fender Bassman 800 and a Gallion Kruger RB 1001.
Oh yeah.
Like those are two amps I want to own one day. I also really want the Ampeg Micro VR.
Okay. Yeah, that was a nice amp that I enjoyed playing.
Do you know what? I nearly bought it last week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I found one used. All in 300 quid.
Ooh, nice.
And so I bought it, you know, I said to him, I'll take it. And then he was like, I've just realized, or like, it's just started crackling on like the cable, like on the amp itself. He said, so I'll probably get that investigated and I'll take it down. And I was like, no worries. I probably shouldn't buy it anyway.
Yeah. Probably should. Don't buy something broken. Like, that's not a good idea.
So I thought, but I'll leave it.
Yeah, no. That was a really nice amp. I enjoyed that amp. Don't get me wrong. I would really love like a Mesa Boogie 400 Plus and like 2 giant 8x10s. Like, that would be great. But
that could be really a new backdrop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just buy 2 810s to live behind me. I might get like some fake ones. Maybe I should get like a green screen and have really bad Getty Images stock photo of a bass amp behind me. Like,
hell yeah!
And when we screen share, it'll just be behind me, like I'm doing the weather.
Wow, we can. I'm surprised we can't do this on here. You know, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
every episode. Well, I can edit it.
Yeah, just edit it in. Sorted. Yeah,
nice. The last thing I'll say that's not really bass related, but kind of is at the same time, is I want to redo my room in here. So I'm gassing for a new desk right now.
Ooh,
I want to stand up, boy. I want to be able to play bass and stand up and like not have to bend down to do stuff. And I'm going to move my, could be that next year my podcast shot changes. It's because I would like to, or it might not. It could stay the same, to be fair, depending on how I do it. But I want my desk to move from here to here.
You want it in front of that window?
Yeah, because I want to shoot this way. So I've got my shelving and I'm going to move my guitar rack there and just change it up. And if I want to have it the other way, I can. But save some space.
I would like to have like a better filming space, but it's not really something you can do when it's like not your house. But
have you thought about buying it from your mum and dad?
Yeah, just buy my mum and dad's house off them. Yeah, cheers. Do you have any idea how much houses are now? Loads.
Mega cash.
Mega cash. A lot more than a Fender Tone Master Pro, I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, I'd like to do some stuff with this shot. Like, this is just a little spare bedroom that's like a bit of a home office at my mum and dad's house. But I'd love to change this to have some sort of more interesting stuff behind me that's not just a 20-year-old cupboard. But yeah, that would be very nice.
1-year-old Mike, 30-year-old man.
Bang. Title. Yep, that's the one.
Bish.
It's the autobiography sorted. There we go.
Wonderful. Well, I think that's enough gas for one day. There's, obviously always a plethora of things I bloody want, or dream things, like one day. But in terms of actual, like, achievable things, like, those are things that I kind of want to check out right now. Chris, shall we finish the podcast here?
Let's do just that.
Fantastico. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. If you want to go and join us on Patreon, then please do so by either clicking the links down below in your respective listening platform or watching platform, or just head to patreon.com/InThePocketPodcast. That's patreon.com/InThePocketPodcast. We'll be shouting about this a lot, so it'll be very easy to find, I'm sure, moving forward. If you want to go and follow us as well over on Instagram @InThePocketPod, and subscribe to us on YouTube. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Time of recording, we're on about 904. So you can be, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you can, even if you're not watching it, really helps us reach those numbers, and hit over 1,000 would be fantastic before the end of the year. So please head over there on YouTube, just search our podcast, and you should find our faces, normally going like this in a thumbnail or something,
trying to look shocked, like,
yeah. There we go. I'll screenshot that, and that'll be the thumbnail for this one.
Please don't. That's my YouTube ick, I think. And it's not anyone's fault. It's YouTube's fault. It's always like a picture of a pedal in the hand and them going, like, confused. Will I like this? Spoiler alert, they always like it. Anyway, moving on.
So just go and bloody follow us on there. It'd be lovely. If you are listening on Spotify and or Apple, and or is anyone listening on both? I don't think so.
That would be interesting. Listening on Spotify and Apple Music.
Yeah, just
Apple Podcasts.
Go.
Yeah. Play them both at the same time. Thank you so much for the free pence you've just given us.
You could hear us like slightly at a time in stereo if you had one headphone doing each.
Like they've got chorus on.
If you're listening on one of those listening platforms of choice, you should rate us 5 stars, because it helps to do with algorithms and reaching more people, and get more eyes on the pod from those platforms, and tell them that, hey, we like this, and we appreciate your feedback on there too. So definitely make sure you do just that. Chris, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me quite literally everywhere under That Guy on Bass. That's it. Instagram. I have a TikTok that I don't really use. I've kind of given up on TikTok as a platform, to be honest. Especially because when you see stuff do well on Instagram and then it get 100 views on TikTok, I'm a bit like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm all right. I've got a YouTube channel that's under my name as well. I think it's That Guy on Bass, and then the letter Y and the letter T, so for YouTube. There's one video on there that you've probably already seen, but if you've not, hop on there, subscribe, please. That would be very nice. I will be doing quite a lot more YouTube stuff. Very much enjoyed it. I intend to do a lot more of it. And that is me. How about you, Johnny?
Stunning. For me, so I've got a lot of gas inside of me right now.
Oh no.
You can follow me at Jonny Dibble on Instagram and on YouTube as well. Same TikTok thing for me. Maybe in 2025 I'll give it another go with some different content. But yes, mainly Instagram and YouTube. Just Jonny Dibble. Follow me on there. Once again, everyone, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Tatty bye.